Hello everyone. Today we will be discussing about the chapters which we will focus in the upcoming classes. So let us see what are they. There are completely 6 chapters on which we will be focusing, and now I am going to give you some brief details about these chapters. From first chapter to 6th chapter, I will give you some ideas what that chapter will be having, so that you can have some idea and you can do some work for this from before. Okay. Now in the first chapter, that is Kirchhoff laws and star delta transformation, you will be finding active elements and passive elements. So what are they? Active elements are voltage source and current source. Passive elements are resistor, inductor and capacitor. So what is the need we need to study that? Because resistor, inductor and capacitor are major pillars for the electrical engineering subject. So we will be seeing how these elements act and how these elements perform whenever we give some energy to it. Okay, so that is the thing what you will be seeing initially from this. And I have said you in the basic electrical engineering subject that R, L, C and V and I will be major part. We will be focusing on that, and you should have some knowledge on that. And not only that thing, now I am adding a point. Ohm's law is the first thing what you will be learning in the basic electrical engineering subject. But there is a disadvantage. That means you can say that there are some limitations of Ohm's law. Okay, that will be seeing here. Limitations of Ohm's law. Okay, now when there are certain limitations of any theory or else any laws, what we do is we go for the further development. That is, there will be another scientist who exists, who has got some ideology of their laws and who has found something to learn more and to get simplified and to get further extension of that. When the Ohm's law gets ended, or else the extension of Ohm's law, that is Kirchhoff laws. So in your physics classes you have seen what are Kirchhoff laws. There are 2 laws of Kirchhoff, that is Kirchhoff's current law, Kirchhoff's voltage law. So what happened there? Again, Kirchhoff is a scientist who brought up some extensions from Ohms, and he has got some solution so that we can do analysis on the resistor, inductor and capacitor, or else the combinations of them. That is what we will be learning in this chapter 2. And of course, in this chapter name is itself, it is having Kirchhoff laws, and you will be seeing some more brief details about the Kirchhoff laws. Okay, and not only that Kirchhoff laws, now all the thing what you did in your physics class or else the previous classes, like you have just studied the laws, you might be have got one example or 2 examples, you have ended up there. Now the circuit subject will now extend that. That means that Kirchhoff laws will be now applied to the combinations of different elements. That may be a resistor, inductor, capacitor, or combination of a voltage source, a resistor, voltage source, a capacitor, voltage source, a inductor. It may be anything. Now you will be applying that law to the places where you can solve some problems where it is difficult, or else to understand, or else to analyze, or else to make the problem very simple, we are going to use that law. That will be very much helpful for you. So that we will be seeing here. Okay, now I have said you now only the terminologies like repetitive words, resistor, inductor, capacitor, voltage source and current source. Now the thing is, what other things also we will be learning in this chapter is, we will be now slowly adding upon the things, like you may be adding 2 resistors, okay, you may be adding 3 resistors, or else the combinations of different resistors. Now the story gets changed. What happens when the 2 resistors are added? What happens when the 3 resistors are added? Or else if I add an voltage source with these resistors, or else if I add 2 voltage sources with this resistor. So it can be anything. When these things get added, the complexity of the circuits get increased. In order to simplify this also, there are certain terminologies like branches, nodes, loops, circuit, etc. You will be seeing this in coming classes, but these will be very much helpful, and these also will be asked in the examinations, and this is also very important chapter for you. and not only for the examinations or anything. These are the basics for your entire all subjects. For an entire electrical engineering, if you are perfect in this chapter, that means you are almost done. You can do your own problems and you can understand any subject of your own. Alright, so these are all the things you will be seeing majorly, that loop, branch, equation. I will write it like some definitions. Okay, now this is what you will be seeing majorly. Not only this, you will be seeing analysis in this. You will see nodal analysis, mesh analysis, and how you apply these things to a circuit, a complete circuit. I'll explain you in the when chapter starts what is a circuit and everything, but as of now you have to like think of what is nodal analysis, what is mesh analysis, that you will be studying in this chapter. All right, the next thing you will be having is star delta transformation. So the name itself is denoting star and delta. What are they? When the resistors are connected in form of star and when the resistors are connected in form of delta. Why this has to be connected and what is the advantage of it, you will be seeing in the chapter. That is what I can say about the star delta transformation, and you will be seeing how to convert star to delta and how to convert delta to star, and you will be having certain problems on this entire chapter. Okay, now this is what about the first chapter. Now you will be seeing what will be there in the networks theorem chapter, that is the second chapter of course. Now I have said you in the previous chapter that you will be adding one resistor, two resistors, or else maybe one voltage source, two voltage sources, or else three voltage sources. Okay, now once you think of it, is there anything that is ideally available? Of course no. Everything has a practicality. In this world nothing is ideal. Okay, so you will be seeing here what is an ideal voltage source and what is an ideal current source. That is the main thing what you will be seeing. And not only ideal voltage source and ideal current source, definitely as I said you, nothing is ideal in this world. You have to check the practicality. That is what you will learn in this subject. So you will be also seeing practical voltage source and practical current source. So how this acts, what are all the parameters getting there, how the graphs will be, that is what you will be seeing in the ideal and practical condition. And while coming to this chapter, not only this topic, now there is a case existing again. What is that case? As I said you, if there are 3 resistors, 4 resistors, or 5 or countable resistors, that means like 6 to 10, like okay, it's fine. That means we can do it on our own with the help of certain laws. Okay, but when the voltage sources increases or else current sources increases, that is 2 or more than that, 2 is fine. But if you go beyond that, when there are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, like that, n number of resistors, n number of voltage sources, n number of current sources, then how can you do this? This is not that simple. So that is the reason why this chapter is introduced in this. So in this chapter, you will be seeing certain theorems. In this case, when the number of ideal voltage sources or else practical voltage sources or else the voltage sources are increased like n number of times, then what happens is you have to apply some theorem. By this, you can see that how you can replace the entire n number of voltage sources and entire n number of resistors in very small and simple representation. For example, like this, you will have a resistor and you will have a voltage source. This is resistor and this is voltage source. So just imagine entire thing, n number of things in a small place. So that is what these theorems will teach you. For example, you will be having Thevenin's theorem, or else you will be having Norton's theorem, or else you will be having reciprocity theorem, or else you will be having source transformation technique, or else you will be having maximum power transfer theorem. That is what you will see in this entire chapter. Now you can just correlate. In this chapter, you are having certain limitations. That means you will be having some less number of things. Now when the quantity gets slightly increased, what happens? You have to study about the theorem. So in this chapter, you will be completely studying about all these theorem. and you will be having problems in this. So there will be so many problems you have to solve. And the next chapter, that is fundamentals of alternating current. Now, this is very much important for all the students out there who are seeing this video. Why? Because electrical engineering is completely based on this chapter, and this is very much important chapter. Because I'll tell you a very simple example. As I have explained you in the instruction set, without electricity you cannot survive. Every day, from the morning till evening, without electricity you can never survive. So just I'll tell you a small example, that is from the previous classes or else from the past knowledge. What we know is we are having electricity in our home. So that electricity basically consists of 230 volts alternating current, 230 volts AC supply, and the major thing or else the most important thing on which you have to focus is the frequency. The frequency is equal to 50 Hertz. In this chapter, you will be learning the basic parts of the alternating current. How to calculate alternating current, how many types of alternating currents are there, how you are going to analyze this 50 Hertz cycle, how you will be seeing this. So I'll tell you a very small example for this. If you take a graph like this and you take time axis on the right and you take current or voltage on the top, this is x axis and this is y axis. Okay, now when I take one complete cycle or else one complete sinusoidal waveform, this part from here to here, it is called as t. That is the duration. This is called as one complete cycle. What does one complete cycle means? One positive cycle, one negative cycle, or as you can say half positive cycle and half negative cycle. So the combination of this is called as full cycle. But what is this means? In 230 volts AC supply, in 1 second, what happened? 50 cycles travel like this. Can you imagine how fast it is? So that is the reason why you will be learning vectors representation in this. This is a vector. As the vectors rotate so fast that the analysis gets little bit tough. So that is the reason why you will be learning fundamentals of alternating current, and that is very important. So the complexity of the subject get little bit increased. And the main point what I want to talk is, in the first two chapters or till the second chapter, what we have learned and what we have seen and what we will be seeing now further is like you will be seeing majorly only DC, that only DCs are there. Now in order to overcome the DC, alternating current is introduced. This is the main point what I wanted to explain it this to you. So I hope this is enough for now in order to understand this fundamentals of alternating current, and I hope you will get some knowledge on this. This is what we will be seeing, and we will be seeing what are the form factors, crest factor, what is RMS value, root mean square value, average value, and many things. You will see types of waveforms and you will be seeing. Okay, now this is enough for this. And the next chapter is single phase alternating current series circuits. Now I have said you resistor, inductor and capacitor are the major pillars of electricity. Yes, it is very much true. Now the chapter itself is denoting the name, that is alternating current series circuits. So that means if you take one resistor, inductor and capacitor, and if you connect them in series, so this is called as series circuit. And as the name is given here, alternating current, so the single phase alternating current series circuit, so what you will give? You will give a single phase AC supply to this, and you will see how these elements perform. Okay, now this is what you will see. Or not only this, you will be seeing RL circuit, RC circuit, LC circuit, and these are all the combinations. Okay, this is what the AC supply. All right. So this is what you will see in the AC series circuit. Similarly, as the name is itself is indicating in the 5th chapter, that is single phase alternating current parallel circuit. Now similarly, how this is in series. When I take and connect them in parallel like this, R, L and C. And what should I do? As the name is indicating alternating current, I have to take up an voltage source, that is Vm sin omega t. You don't worry about this, I'll tell you later. So as of now, you see this. So if I take a voltage source Vm sin omega t and I apply to RLC parallel circuit, how the parameters come, how these circuits act. That is what we will see. Not only that, you will be seeing how this RL circuit act, RC circuit act, LC circuit act. That you will be seeing. And you will be seeing the vector diagrams, vector representation. As I said you that these are so fast, that is 50 cycles per second. That is the reason why we will go for the vector representation. And with that vector representation, you will be seeing the entire alternating current. Because vector representation is very easy to understand the performance of the circuit. That is the reason we will be going. Okay. Now, next chapter is polyphase circuits. Okay. In this chapter, you will be having, first thing is single phase. You have already studied it here. And in this chapter, you will be extending from here to 2-phase, 3-phase and multiple phases. Okay. How to generate 2-phase? How to generate 3-phase? What are the phasor diagrams? Okay. For 2-phase, 3-phase. Okay. And you will be also seeing when you apply this 3 phases or 2 phases to any circuit, that is star or delta or something, how these parameters come, or else how these circuits are generated, or else how these polyphases are generated. So the major part of this chapter is you will be looking at the advantages of multiple circuits. That is, you will see majorly advantage of 3-phase circuit. Why we go for 3-phase circuit? And in that also you will be having some kinds of wire. 3-phase 3 wire, 3-phase 4 wire. You are seeing it in the transmission lines which are going outside. You can see in the domestic line, whatever are there outside, you can see it. So you will see majorly you will be observing what are polyphase circuits. That means the advantages of the polyphase circuit. So friends, so these are all the things what I wanted to explain it to you. So this is the basic idea what I have given you. I hope you have got some, at least some basic idea, so that in the upcoming classes you will be ready with some knowledge. As I said you should have some basic maths knowledge, as well as you should have some basic electrical engineering knowledge. I hope you understood this. If you like this video, you can like this and subscribe to the channel as much as possible, and don't come out of this channel, so that you will be connected with me and you will learn more things. Okay. Thank you.